Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode.
Of Live,
Let
Thrive. What's up, Micah man?
I'm good, Stevie Stacks. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm hustling hardcore, trying to be like you.
A little bit. I'm doing a little bit over here, but
a little bit.
What episode we on?
This is episode 154 of your favorite Airbnb, VRBO, STR, LTR, long-term, short-term real estate podcast in the world. And we are coming at you live from Arlington and Fort Worth. And we have a special guest, but before I get into that, we have an actual sponsor for the show, man. And I'd like to read it real quick, if that's cool. If the audience will bear with me. This is our first, I've never done this before. So I'm going to go ahead and run through this real quick. And it's a sponsor of the show, but a friend of the show. Maria McNeese. She was on episode 132. Her and her mom, amazing people, and they came on and just blew the doors off the place. And so she wanted us to read this little piece, and she's amazing, by the way. Maria McNeese Management. McNeese Management is a professional Airbnb management company with a full service team of listing optimizers, dynamic pricing experts, and 24/7 guest support staff who work to optimize your listings, occupancy, reviews, and revenues. They're 100% hands-on, so you don't have to be, and get better results than owners managing themselves. Their listings average 88% occupancy and $4,500 a month in gross revenue. If you're looking to improve your listing performance without the headaches of managing yourself, visit mcneesemanagement.com, and we will have a link for you. She's awesome. So hit her up and she will make you some money. And we have a special guest today, Miss Natalie Stringfield. Did I say it correctly?
You did. Hi. A lot of times I get Springfield. I get Springfield all the time.
Oh, like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
thank you guys for having me on here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
I love your decor, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
You in it? Are you in one of your units?
No, I'm actually home. This is my home.
Oh, so you must really deck out your Airbnbs then.
Oh, I go all in. I mean, that's pretty much like my thing. That's what I really rely on to get my bookings. I don't want anybody to click away. So I want you to click on it. You see the space and you're like, oh, this is the one. So I'm looking for you to look and book.
Look and book. I like that.
Look and book. Yeah. So where are you based out of? What market?
I'm out of Georgia. I'm just outside of Atlanta, south side of Atlanta. So currently right now I have 2 luxury homes. They're larger units. I don't do any smaller units. I have 1 5-bedroom and 1 6-bedroom home. So look at Mike's face.
So you're doing 5 and 6 bedrooms. Now, are you renting them the whole thing out, or are you renting it by room? How you running that?
I actually do the entire house. We started right at the beginning of COVID. Well, I'll say right before. So we went live in December of 2019. So we were just getting our footing in and figuring things out, and then boom, COVID hit. So for us, with COVID, it didn't make sense to do room by room or anything like that. And actually, we had just started and I didn't know enough about it. I've heard about it and I know people were making a killing off of it. We just weren't interested in that. I tried to market to girls' trips and, bachelorette weekends or, things of that nature. So we just do whole house and we do pretty good.
Yeah, I would imagine that 5 and 6 bedrooms. And you said you did it right after, like right in COVID times. Now, how did you pivot? Or was Airbnb still working for you?
Airbnb was still working for us. So what happened was we did have a moment where Airbnb kind of shut down reservations. I don't know how it was where you were located, but we did get shut down, so to speak. What saved us is we had a booking already that was in progress during that time. So while we weren't allowed new bookings and everyone had canceled, when I say everyone, I mean everyone, the person who stayed in the house continued to extend her stay up until my next actual booking that didn't cancel. And then they lifted the ban, thank God. And when they did that, bookings shot through the roof. They exploded because everybody had been pent up. They were looking for larger spaces so they can get together and just get out that energy. So it was a good thing and it was a bad thing. Because you could only imagine people had cabin fever, so they wanted to party. So we had a lot of illegal parties, things that we had to break up. But we made really good money. Our prices were kind of higher at that time too. So it worked out, but there were some drawbacks, but it worked out. It was worth it.
So how do y'all go about breaking up parties?
So our first Airbnb, the first one that we started was our personal home, and we had lived there for several, like 2.5 years prior to us building our personal home that we live in now. So we had a relationship with all of our neighbors. All of them had our phone numbers. And we also had cameras. We have cameras on the outside we have the hello doorbell. We have cameras everywhere. So when we start to see activity, or if it happens to slip by us, like if we're just asleep or we're kind of busy and we're not noticing the notifications, our neighbor would call us. And I would go with my husband and we'll knock on the door like, hey, the rules were clear. You guys got to get out of here. If we've ever had any resistance, we would call the local police and they would come break it up as well. We've also had the local police break it up before we've even gotten there. Like we were en route when we found out and they had already been there to kind of disperse it. So I'll say 2 out of the 4 times we broke it up, 2 times it was police.
And I want to tell people, because I know you're in like a more not rural, but a little bit outside the main city. I will tell people my units where it's a little bit outside the main city, the police will break it up and will shut it down. So it's worked for me as well. So that's a little tip.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll shut it down, especially if neighbors are complaining or these residential neighborhoods, the street is but so big. When you got all these cars, we're talking about a 3,500 square foot house and they're packing in as many people as they can. One person had an open invite party, like a flyer. That was the worst of it. So it can't withstand that. At some point, it's like shut down. They were pissed too. They were really, really, really angry. A lot of the people who paid, because I guess the guy was like charging.
Damn. Paid for his old Airbnb. Shoot.
Yeah, they did. They had it lit and we shut it right down. So they were probably 2 hours in until they got shut down.
Do you have cameras around your houses?
I do.
Okay.
So we've got the Nest doorbell, and then we've got one in the back, one exterior camera, and one above the garage, so we can kind of see a little bit of everything.
And I want to know, like on those 5 and 6 bedroom houses, like what's your cleaning process and how much are you charging to clean those? Because you're the second person I know that does over the 5. So the 6 bedroom is $200. It's a $200 cleaning fee, and the 5 bedroom is $185. And I've got an amazing woman who cleans my house. We are insanely meticulous about cleaning. I do not play around with it. This is like no joke. I will go through white glove. I used to manage an LA Fitness, and we white glove dust, and we polish the handles on the toilet, like the faucets. Like I don't play when it comes to cleaning. So I just found someone who was aligned with that makes her proud to make sure that it's really cleaned. So we're big on cleaning. I do have my guests do certain things like pull off all of the sheets for the beds that were used, because sometimes they don't use all the beds. So in order for us to know we're not doing double duty, we'll just have them pull off the bed sheets that are used. All of the towels, we have them leave them in the bathrooms. And then we have them load the dishwasher and run it. So I provide dishwasher packs. And I also send them like a checkout list of things. I'll tell them like, hey, this isn't a hotel. We're not here to clean up after you. Like, get all your trash up.
tell them where to put their trash as well. We let them know, hey, we have a broom, we have a mop, just in case there's a spill here or there and you want to kind of tidy up while you're there. We leave cleaning supplies and all that kind of stuff. So it works out well. So that way my cleaner can maximize her time because it's such a large home. One of the houses is all hardwood. There's another one that has the hardwoods all downstairs, and we sweep and we mop after every single checkout. So it's kind of a tedious process. Like we aren't just dust mopping, like we're mopping, like shining it up.
So, and I want to know, like in your high season, like what's the most y'all charging a night, like on a high season?
We've done, I think the most we got away with probably was like $485 a night. We're weekend bookers, for the most part. And I think the most we've done in a month on one property, I want to say we got to like $7,400 in booking.
That ain't bad.
Mm-hmm. And our expenses they average about $2,500. So yeah, we made some killings during COVID. COVID was like the best. I'm talking about we were booming.
Wow.
We were booming. That's why I did the second house. I was like, bet this is like, I'm feeling this, So yeah.
And I'm sure you promote how clean y'all's places is, and it helps with the COVID.
Absolutely. Yeah, because people are concerned about that. I do a lot of social media marketing for my unit as well. So I post my links all the time because I have a large friend list. That's where I have the most engagement. So I get really strategic and I'll post certain things about my cleanliness along with a review, and I'll post the link, so they can see that we're serious. Or sometimes I will have a video while my cleaner is there and I'll show the process. I'll show the fact that the stainless steel has been cleaned, or little things like that. Just the fact that we use a lot of people don't do this, I know, but we have, even the house smells good. Like I use Glade plugins, so in almost every area of the house, so it doesn't matter where you walk, you're going to get a whiff of that freshness. So I try to record that and show that to them, and it actually helps for my viewings as well, because the more people click on it, the more it brings my listing to the top to get seen.
That's smart. So are you doing that with Facebook ads or just
no ads, just my followers. I am part of several groups, interior design groups and things like that. So every now and again I'll get slick and I'll post something like, hey, how'd I do with the decor at this place? And then everyone's like, can I get the link? And I'll link it. And it's a group of 30,000 women. And so that everybody's rushing to the link, just to see all the pictures. And that also boosts it. Cause like I said, I'm south of Atlanta. People aren't generally looking for south of Atlanta when they're flying into Georgia. Mm-hmm. They want to stay in Atlanta, but my listing a lot of the time comes up on top for the amount of people that we sleep. So like I said, I'm trying to capitalize on that. I want you to look and be like, all right, I know it's like 30 minutes, but we're going to go anyway because it's fly, like it's dope. So yeah.
Go ahead, real quick, going back to the cleaning, because me and my buddy started a unit over there in Fort Worth, and so really nice. Our friend Sarah, from the show, she hooked it up really, really pretty, and so a brand new condo and everything. But I remember we hired this lady. She only charged $35 for a cleaning. I was like, wow, that's cheap.
Wow. Yeah.
and I figured out why. And I visited a couple times, and when you get a good cleaner, you walk in and it just smells and just feels like, wow, just like you get that feeling. I never got that feeling with her. And and like I said, only $35, but
that'll do it.
Yeah. We started getting little complaints here and there. Like someone found a used Q-tip in the bed, and so finding trash here and there, and I was like, man, this isn't good. So I said, we got to fire the cleaner, man. And so Federico was in charge of that. He found us. I found this one. She's $45, but she has all these 5 stars, and so many people rave about her. I was like, okay, cool, we'll try her. Anyways, I got to the place, and it was her and her husband were still finishing up when I was getting there. 'Cause I was bringing some stuff to the condo, and I noticed they had the masks on, and they had their company logos on it, and they had the shirts with the company professional. I was like, oh okay, $45. I was thinking it's okay, but the place smelled and felt. And she said, oh, I got all because there was like some hairs. The place needed a deep clean. And man,
Right.
they went to town. And so anyways, whenever on Turnover B&B, we got the bill, it was for like $152. It was like, what? And so
Whoa.
I was like, Federico, what happened? We looked at the thing and said, it's $45 an hour. They charged to clean.
Ah,
So,
there you go.
and so they
There you
went in,
go.
but I said, okay, that was coming off of a 1 month listing, and it was going into another 2 month listing. I said, plus all those cheap $35 ones, it probably did need a
To add
good
up,
deep clean.
deep
So
cleaning.
every now and then we could splurge a little, get a good deep clean, and then just kind of maybe I can negotiate with her. Hey, we can't afford $152 every time, but could y'all
Right.
do like a turnover cleaning for us? Maybe $75. I don't know. Give us a little break.
Right. Right.
Now, see, that's my question. You bring up a good point. You said they pay by the hour. Do you pay yours by the hour, Natalie?
No, I pay my cleaner what I charge, because she's just that good. And I want to be fair. You know what I mean? I've gotten quotes for $85 for my 5 and my 6 bedroom, and I've declined those. I'm not even interested because I know for $85 you're gonna rush through that thing, and I need more. I require more. And so I had to say, hey, I'm willing to pay more. Like, you don't understand. Let me tell you what I need you to do. You got to make the beds. You got to do the laundry. And we actually have extra sheets, extra towels, so that way beds could be made up immediately and clothes could be washing while they're cleaning the rest of the house, or the sheets and towels could be cleaning while they're doing the rest of the home. So it's like I needed to make sure I ran it down. Like, these are all the things I need you to do. And you're saying you can do that for $85. That would let me know right there. They're not going to take the time to do everything. They're going to skip certain things. And I had to go through a few frogs before I found like the one. So I would probably pay her more, and I would probably just change my listing if she asked for it, because she works that hard, So like, just do that flat fee. It's $185 for the 5 bedroom, is $200. The 6 bedroom actually started out as $185 as well, but she came back and was like, you know what? It's all hardwood floors throughout the entire house. Like, I'm having to mop the entire house every time. She's like, I need $200. I was like, bet, say less. And I just did what I had to do.
Now, you think you could get away with charging the guests $250?
I think so. Actually, I do. After kind of listening to people on Clubhouse, hearing that some of them charge so much more, I think I could. I honestly think that I could get away with it. I mean, if she asks for it, I would do it. I mean, to be honest, I might just test it just to see if I get more.
That's what I would do. Like, even if you're paying your cleaner $200, charge
$200 and I take the $50. Yeah, because I'd love.
Trust
me, I'd love to keep that cleaning fee now. my income would go up significantly if I could keep that cleaning fee. But I have heard some people were telling me they were charging like $400 for houses to clean, like in my size range. So I'm just not paying for it. I mean, it's outrageous. So I'm not going to do it. But
see, and you also said you were a weekend booker. And I was thinking about that. Like, if you have a larger unit, I know that works. So like, all you need is pretty much like what, 4 days, and you covered for the whole month?
So yeah, like, typically I have some minimum. So I have a 2-night minimum. So I'm always going to book like a Friday and a Saturday. That's like my standard. The juice comes in when you get that somebody who's working in town and needs to stay for a week in between that, and I get that often. Or you just get that person who's looking for a long weekend. They're booking Thursday and they're checking out Monday. So we make all of our income, like, we're good if we just book Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday throughout that. So I'm good with 8 to 10 days, but we average about 17 days out of the month. So, or more. Sometimes it's more. Like I said, we just got a booking out of the blue. They're staying, I think, 8 days. They're working in town. Boom. Yeah. And all my weekends are already booked. So this was like a bonus. Extra couple grand. I was like, yes. So those are when we hit those $7,000 months and stuff like that.
Nice.
When we get those. Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So Oh,
Go ahead.
you're comfortable with the weekend bookings, weekends.
I am. Actually, it
Okay.
works out better. I don't stress about the cleaning on the dates. I'm more flexible for her, especially with 2 units, because generally both my checkouts are on the same day. So, I'll get 2 checkouts on a Sunday. So instead of, her rushing to do, she can't do both on both days.
Uh-huh.
So she can spread it out. A lot of times I'll go in there and I'll block a day. Like if it comes to that, I'll block a day and say, hey, no problem. You can clean this one on Monday. You could do the other one Tuesday. Boom. If somebody happens to book, we're ready to go. That kind of thing.
Nice.
But I'm comfortable. I'm actually happy when I have the week, because during the week I'll go in, I'll check out things. I'll make sure we're still on point. She's not slacking. We still go, we pull up the trash can, we'll pull down the trash can, that kind of thing,
Because this is why I asked. Because what I just got another unit, and I was signing up for the electricity, and I don't know if y'all have JEXA Energy over there, or do y'all have several to choose from? You'll have.
Yeah, we have a couple. We have like Georgia Power and like an EMC type.
Okay,
like
cool. Over here we have a whole bunch to choose from.
Yeah.
Anyways, so JEXA, I was looking. I've been using them. They're pretty good, and they offer this thing. It's like a new thing. I just noticed with them. They offer free electricity on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all the way into Monday. Then it goes back to charging. And I was like, man, for someone doing an Airbnb that mostly gets weekends, that is perfect. You don't have to pay
awesome
any electricity bill for the days that they're actually using the house. I mean, that would be insane.
That's awesome. Yeah, wow.
I would look for a deal like that over there. If I don't have JEXA,
because it's all, electricity, they kind of have it where, depending on where you stay, is which one you'd have to go with. But for one of our units, we actually we don't post pay, we prepay. And that house is more like a smart house. A lot of it, we have Nest thermostats and stuff. So we monitor that. We can go. I don't have to drive over there to turn down my heat or whatever the case, especially if they're using it during that time. So
nice.
Our expenses stay so low. I can make sure all the lights are out, that kind of thing. Now, the second home, that one is not completely smart. So I have to physically drive over there. So I noticed the electricity is more expensive over there than it is for the other house. But it's been benefiting us to prepay that one. I can kind of, keep an eye on it. And I know okay, wow. But we're only getting usage over the weekend. So
right.
It's not like an all day thing. It works out.
So one thing I was wanting to know, since you have larger units, and I can tell by how your background home is, you do some real good decorating. So have you put your place on Peerspace?
I have not, but what's his name? I took a break from Clubhouse for a couple weeks. TJ. I actually had never heard of Peerspace until he talked about it. And I hopped in on one of the Clubhouses and I was blown away. And I went online and I saw some of the spaces that they have out here. And I was like, wow, this is an awesome way to make extra income. And I'm actually really interested in it. I've been looking at a loft, like a 1-bedroom loft.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of more, I have one unit that my 5-bedroom house is more feminine. And then the 6-bedroom house is kind of more neutral decor. I've had all guy trips. I have several, actually. I think I've had 3 so far. I want just a straight bachelor pad, I want a cool bachelor pad type lofty experience that somebody wouldn't mind going there to do photo shoots or just do certain little cool activities or whatever during the day. So I'm really interested in doing it. I don't know how it would work Airbnb wise, because I don't know what you would do Airbnb. I mean, besides photo shoots and stuff, but I'm really interested in it. I am.
I didn't
even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I just listed my first place, and it was one of the ones that I had an interior designer do. And I was like, dang, somebody want to pay $95 an hour for 3 hours? I'm like, that's I was like, dang, but the only part about it is it doesn't link to Airbnb's calendar. That's the only part that I'm having trouble with.
Right. So how do you block that off? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But I'm like, dang, but it's really lucrative because if you think about it, if somebody's willing to pay you $95 a day and they got to be there 3 days, and somebody's paying you $95 an hour for 3 hours. I'm like, because I know Matty J down in Atlanta, he kills it doing that. I'm like, and I thought about it, it makes sense, so it's just something to
He's
think.
on Peerspace?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people doing that, but they hire somebody to manually block the calendar. You can do it that way.
I got you. What are they like? What are people booking this space for? Out of curiosity, like, what are they booking this? Do they tell you? Do they let you know?
Yeah, so you can set it up for events, production, and it's another category. It's events, production, and like corporate meetings. I set mine up for all three, and somebody wanted to do a movie shoot there. Like, it was like, wow. But it's just how fast they come in. It was just like, wow. But that's the only, like, the CEO, I talked to one of the guys who's under the CEO, and he was just like, if you find out, and actually me and Federico were just talking about it. He said, if you find a way to block the calendars and sync them, I'm all down to listen to you. But yeah, Peerspace is, if you're in the right area and you have the right size unit and the right decor, Peerspace is a hit.
You see, I'm south of Atlanta. I don't know if people would come all the way down here. Like, I wouldn't mind putting my personal home, like my personal home is fire. Like, I would all out for my personal home. So, I mean, I have 2 other homes to go to, and then my mother has a whole house that I can go to. I will leave my house and put my house on Peerspace.
Yeah, so like something your size, like that 5 or 6 bedroom, you might be able to charge somebody $300-$400 an hour for a production. Or something. Oh,
yeah, and see, yeah, and my house is a 5-bedroom.
Especially if you said you're good with the weekend booking. So, like, let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I
can just block that off.
Yeah, block it off for Peerspace. You might make $15,000 a month on one property. That's how you look at it.
Yeah, I might have to look into that, because like I said, I went to the website, I was scrolling through, and I was just like, wow, this is really dope. Like, whoever came up with this idea, they nailed it. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Yeah, because like I said, I do better. I'm not really interested. I know people do really great with smaller units, but I think I've seen so much success with the larger unit. I think I've kind of, figured out my niche. So I kind of want to stay in the 5-bedroom, 4 or 5 or 6-bedroom. I don't even want to go up more than that. I think I'm good with that amount and see, where it takes me. I'm trying to really specialize, what I'm the best at. And I sometimes I get a lot of comments and questions about people like, what about, I want to get a 1-bedroom unit. And I'm like, I wish I could tell you I'm the expert on it, but I'm not. Like, my thing is houses. I'm looking to get the most amount of money per hour. Like, sometimes I'll test out the prices too. Sometimes I'll shoot it up to $400, a night, because I look at it like this. If they think it's worth it, and I'll do this by looking at other listings. If the other listings in my area are charging anywhere near $400, but they look like crap and the lighting is bad and they don't have professional pictures, I'm going to up my price. And I sleep 12 to 14, split that between y'all. Y'all got it. That's how I look. Split it. And I don't negotiate pricing unless it's midweek. Like, if it's in the middle of the week and somebody's like, hey, are you willing to do, 3 nights for $800? Because I don't normally book those anyway, I'm like, sure, I'll take the extra $800. Then I'll do it.
You see, people are on the groups always argue about that. They always calling out people. Look at this person who asked for a discount or this and that. I'm like, whenever I was a traveler, I always asked. And I'm like, what's the worst they could say is no, and I'll still book it anyways. And I said, like, I don't know, like 50% of the time I'd get some kind of discount, and they'd be like, well, you shouldn't ask because I'm like, why not? It's business, right? It's negotiations.
I never get offended by the ask. On the weekends, because I don't have a problem booking the weekends. I don't have vacancies on the weekends. I don't negotiate prices for the week, because if you don't book it, somebody's gonna book it like an hour or 2 later. I'm not worried about it. Right. But the weekday, yeah, absolutely, I'm willing to negotiate. Or if I have like 1 weekend left in a month and I just really want to round that out and everything else is kind of booked and I know my money looks good, and somebody's like, hey, can you do it for $1,000? I'll be like, bet. So I've done it before, but it's got to be like just that one random weekend that I just want to make sure is booked. It's just extra money at this point. So I'm all right with the asking.
Yeah, because they say the riches are in the niches, and I like your niche. It's like you're going for the bigger units. And the funny thing is, like, we've had this is why I love this podcast. We've seen so many different perspectives, and we've always said, hey, you want to try to lower your price here or do a discount so someone can book longer than the weekend. But if your weekends are bringing you that much and it's with a bigger size unit, I'm all for it. You're really making me jump more into the bigger units. I have 3s and 4s. I might go up a little bit more, so you have a little bit more vacancy.
I would
play around with it.
Yeah, I would suggest it, and I'll tell you why. Because I had an agent. I actually work in real estate as well. So I was talking to an agent one day, and she said, "Hey, I know you got Airbnbs. I have someone who is closing on a house or selling their house, but their house they won't close on for like 3.5 weeks. I think it was being built." And she's like, "And I saw your unit, there, and they were buying like a $400,000 or $500,000 house. They really wanted to stay in something comparable." And I said, "Hey, I don't do monthly bookings," which I don't. We've done it before. We got burned. This is in the very beginning. We were like wide open, like, we'll take anything. We'll take 2 weeks. We'll take a month. And no one is going to be willing to pay $5,000 per month. And because that's what we average, I'm just not, I put it that you can't even inquire about longer than 2 weeks. Like, don't even ask me. That's not an option, So when she said, "Oh, she needs somewhere to stay for 3.5 weeks," I was like, I don't offer longer than 2 week bookings. And I said, she was like, "Well, why?" I said, "Because nobody's willing to pay $5,000. She's like, "Well, you should consider lowering your price if you want to stay booked." I said, "Honey, I am booked. That's why I don't do longer than 2 weeks. I don't have a problem booking. I will lose money trying to rent to your client for $3,500. I'm not gonna make anything." The only thing I'll get is peace of mind. Like, I know there's somebody in there. I don't have to worry about check-in, check-outs, and sending codes and all that. That's the only thing. But money-wise, I'll be down about a couple grand. So
what I would do next time they come to you with that, be like, hey, like, for example, I'll tell you somebody who'll pay $5,000. Them people who behind them insurance companies, they'll pay it. Yeah, you got to go get behind the person. Like, when people, realtors especially, be like, "Hey, put me in touch with whoever's going to be paying." Like, usually it's a insurance company or relocation. Those people will pay the $5,000.
Now, reloads, you're right. Mm-hmm. Reloads, yes, they do. They don't care. They're just trying to put their person where they need to be. But this was like a local client. This was like, and she was asking me if I was willing to do 35. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? 3,500. No. So yeah. No, I mean, we did do monthly in the beginning, and we got a booking. And by the time you got the discounts and everything, it was like a little bit under, I want to say it came to like 2,900 or something. We were devastated.
Yeah.
We were devastated. So it was like lesson learned. We cut it immediately. Like, no more. Done. And so ever since then, we've been 2 weeks is our max. And I already have the discount set up. And like I said, it has to be well worth it for me to offer anything on top of that discount. If not, yeah. The 5-6 bedroom units, that's where it's at.
I'm definitely going to be looking into that. Because I know we have another person we interviewed probably a year ago, and he does the same thing. He does 6-7 bedroom houses. I'm like, what? But if you can make everything I like it because you're making the most money with a lower occupancy rate, so it's less wear and tear. I love that strategy.
It's not like in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm 5 to 6 bookings per month. It's like the standard for us. With an average of 3 nights, or we'll get a couple 4 nights in there. But we can charge more during the weekends, obviously, because it's the weekend. Mm-hmm. We know you're coming in town to party and to relax and chill. Yeah. And you're probably going to be traveling with 8 or more people, adults preferably. Y'all can split that money for the weekend.
Easy. Mm-hmm. Now, right now, with you going the 5 and 6 bedroom route, are you planning on expanding right now? And what's that process like?
We're looking, because the second one went live November of 2020. So it took us, that year. And we actually we probably could have done it earlier than that, but we sat on it. We were looking for the right thing. I was very particular. I wanted the kitchen to be very grand, open, and easy for entertaining. Like, I'm looking for like stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, and stuff like that. So I'm very particular. I won't just take anything. So it took a minute to even come across that opportunity. But I got lucky. A friend of mine's former NBA player, he was in the middle of a divorce, and he didn't want to sell his house. It was a new build. And he knows that I do Airbnb. And I was like, hey, he's like, I think I'm just going to rent it for a couple years so I can wait for the equity to go up. This was before the real estate market really kind of like shot through the roof, because right now it's crazy out here. So I was like, hey, let me get that off of you. Let me rent it. Let me rent that. And he was just like, yeah, like, I'd rather it be you because I know you're going to take care of my home. You know, I'm going to take care of it like it's my home. And so I made him feel better about it and said, I'll deal with the maintenance of all appliances and things like that. So I deal with all of that. I got extended warranties on all the appliances. So I told him, I'm not going to call you if the AC goes out. I'll handle it on my own. He was like, bet. And that's all she wrote. So that's how I got into that second one. But like I said, we could have probably done it sooner than that. I think we were in just disbelief about how successful we were with the first one. You know, we were just like, you know, it's our first time. I'll be honest with you, you know, so we're like, it felt like taking candy from a baby. So I was, and then also I wasn't sure if it was how my place, I knew people booked because of how it looked, but I wasn't sure if it was exactly where that place was located, that it was kind of close to the airport, or was it because of what it looked like? So what I did was I did a test run and I put my personal home on Airbnb. And so I got all my pictures, I did some professional pictures. I have a big like DSLR camera, and my house is about 20 minutes south of that house. So it's like in a real rural area, like super rural. Like I have buffalo, like I can buffalo on the side of, like literally I can see buffalo and cows coming to my house. Like I really live in the country. So I put my house on there, and within 24 hours, Airbnb was lit up. And so I looked at my husband like, it's the way that it looks. It don't matter where we put it.
That's a fact.
It's how it looks.
That's a fact. Yeah, I learned that with Peerspace. Like when I started, I would have never put any of my other places on there. But if you have a themed unit, it definitely, it's the difference on Airbnb and all these platforms.
So give us some of your decor tips.
Decor tips. I would say
On a budget.
Oh, I only do a budget, honey. I only do budget. I do not go all out. For one, I comb Facebook Marketplace like I'm an insane person. I would audit every day, all day, looking for specific items. I would say if you have zero design skills or anything like that, I would utilize something like Pinterest and get an idea of what look you're trying to go for. And when you have those images in mind, like, you know, pin a living room, pin a bedroom, you know, a dining room or whatever have you. And depending on how large your space is, obviously, when you have those pictures, you could look at the item in those pictures and source them, which is kind of like what I do. I find a look that I want. I tend to go, I have more modern home. I love modern, clean, neutral colors. So I like a lot of white, black, gray, things like that. So I just try to find those items that I see in the pictures, basically. So I would just literally go on Facebook Marketplace and it's like, okay, I need a buffet table. I'm going to search until I find the one, the really good deal, the size and scale that I'm looking for. And then I would just go, get my husband, throw it in the back of the truck, and we'll be done. But I would say, couches, you should have a coffee table. Like, warmth is what people are looking for. They want to feel like they're home, away from home. So, I see a lot of Airbnb spaces where you'll look and there's like a couch, there's no coffee table. So where do people put their drinks? There's no table on the side, People want to feel comfortable. So I make sure you have a coffee table. If you have hard floors, I suggest area rug. Plants, hard to kill plants that need low light also bring warmth to a space. Art is very important. No blank walls. I do not do blank walls at all. Nowhere. I'm very big on that. And you can go to Hobby Lobby when they're doing 50% off and literally get a whole bunch of tiny little vases and knickknacks for $5-6 a piece and just place them on the little tables. You don't have to go all out, but you just got to put little elements in the space that just warm it up a bit. If it's just a table with nothing on it, people are like, they can see that coldness from the picture. So like I said, you just want them to get that warmth. They feel the warmth. Like even my entryway, I have a table with a lamp, some books, a plant. I want you to feel like the house you wish you lived in. There you go.
Now I have a question. So you saying you're going around to these places to pick this stuff up. So on a 6-bedroom, like how much did it cost you to get it fully up and running?
We were under 12,000. We were under 12.
For a 6-bedroom?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Facebook Marketplace.
So this was my thing, and now you just completely changed my mind on it. I was like, I can't do Facebook Marketplace and all that because it takes so long to set up. But the problem is, I'm only looking on the 1-bedrooms. You're probably looking to make $500 to $1,000 a month. But if you're now making $3,000-4,000 in cash flow, I'd do the 12 and then be picking up knickknacks because it's now worth the time. I like that.
Yeah. And to be honest, we could have probably spent less, but I'm extra. Like, I have curtains. I got area rugs for every space. You don't have, like, for instance, for the master bedroom, for instance, I got an area rug for the master, for the kitchen, for the family room, for the dining table. My dining table, I splurged a little bit on. It's a 6-bedroom house, and I wanted to seat as many people as possible. So I spent a little bit more on the dining, but I so didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? I could have probably got away with spending about $8,000, but I did that. I don't know if you guys have this place. It's called Restore. It is Habitat for Humanity's, like, Google it. You may have it. I mean, if you're in Texas, it's basically Habitat for Humanity owns it. And what they do is they get donated a lot of items and they resell it back to the community, and they use that money to help for Habitat for the Humanity. And shoot, you get a whole bunch of, like, beds, mattresses. We got a lot of our mattresses from there. Like, you get king size mattress. What do you call it? The memory foam.
Oh, wow.
For $200.
Now, are you doing interior design for other hosts?
I have been asked. I have one project that I'm working on now. It's a little lake bungalow. It's a cute little, like, we're going to do like this whole bohemian lake house thing. I'm working on it now. I actually finished. I did half of it. We sourced all the items. We are doing the setup and staging of it. This Sunday, we finish it out. So I'll probably start posting pictures when we finish. I'm really excited. It's literally right on the lake. Nice. And so that's my first official project. I kind of kept it on the low because I wanted to kind of put it out there and have like a portfolio. But I am starting to do that. She reached out to me and was like, yo, your houses look amazing. I need you to do what you did for them, for me. So that's going to be that's my first official client.
So if I was to come out to Atlanta, how much would you charge to do, like,
oh my gosh,
a 4-bedroom house?
I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. Because, like I said, I'm just starting out too, so I had to really sit down. That's something that you really have to sit down and look at how many hours you're literally looking for items. I want to make sure that it makes sense, because the time, I'm very passionate about it. So when I tell you I'm looking all day, I have my hot list. Like, I'm always on a hunt for these items, and I'm always looking for the best price. So it looks really well without you having to pay a lot of money. I do not believe in spending $20,000. I think I was on a Clubhouse one day and somebody said, like, yeah, $25,000 for a 5-6 bedroom house. And I was like, I could never.
Trust me, I'm spending like 8 to 10 on a 1. So
no, okay. So yeah, no, Facebook Marketplace. It's almost everything you want is there.
Yes.
Everything you are looking for. There's people who are desperate to just get rid of stuff. They are moving, they need it gone, and they negotiate. I mean, I've got people be like, yeah, I'm selling this table for $75. I'll be like, well, you take 40, like, done. That's how I got most of my stuff. I'll come get it right now. Yeah, no, 8,000 on one. I mean, now if it's beautiful and like decked out and the return is good, because we looked at it like this, like, how long will it take for us to pay off all that we just bought? I want to recoup and I don't even think we were at 12K. I'm like guesstimating. I'm sure we're under it. I want my 12K back.
If I'm netting $3,000 a month and I've only spent $12,000, that's
perfect. At least because next year it's all it's all gravy.
4 months on gravy. I love that.
But what we tried to do with the first one, so we had our first one, we really saved up a lot of cash from our first one. We just didn't take profit. Like I work full time. My husband works full time and he trades. He's a day trader and we do pretty well. So we saved a lot of money in cash and bought a lot of that stuff, just cash. Like we just, and so we didn't take profit in the beginning. And I would say that anybody who has an Airbnb, if you're looking to do your next one, just save your cash from your, save your profit. Just take a hit for a few months, save that up, buy up what you need, and then you'll get that back in your profit. And you're, going forward with the next one. I think it's worth the investment in Decor because you almost can guarantee you book. I am in the boonies. I have no problem booking. I don't have weekend vacancies.
The big houses, I love that. I love the big houses is the play right there.
I think so.
Yeah, because like we talk about on the show how so many people get into Airbnb and everybody wants to get a 1-bedroom. Everybody wants to get 1-bedroom, so it's saturated everywhere. And so if you have anything 2 bedrooms or up, you're going to be number 1 on the list on the Airbnb. You don't have to do any SEO or try to advertise. You're going to be like way up there over everybody because someone's looking for a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom.
Yeah, I totally agree with that point. I just think also for people who are coming from out of town, as opposed to them booking 4 1-bedrooms, right, that are in the same vicinity, groups, they're looking for houses. They need houses. So when they put in, we're going to have 8 adults, only the things that can sleep 8 adults or more are going to come up. So, we thought of that situation and we figured at least we can cater to the people who want to stay together. A girls' trip of 8 girls or 6 girls who want maybe possibly their own beds, they're not looking for 1 or 2 bedroom units, Also, there was a guy when we first started researching Airbnbs, the guy, he does really well. I can't remember his name now for some reason, only because I became disinterested, but he said, yes, we do so well. I'm making $1 million a year. I have X amount. He had so many units. And he said, and we do about 800 profit per unit. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm not about to do for me to make that, I just didn't want to go through all of that to get to at least, I didn't want to have 5 units to make $4,000 or $5,000, which is the reason why we said, let's start with the home.
See, and that's exactly what I was saying earlier. Cause like, even if my minimum, like my bare bottom line for me to take on a unit has to make 500. But now if you increase that goal, like, this place has to bring me 2,000, then it changes things up a little. That's why my mind's like, okay, hold on.
10X,
it's less stress.
Yeah, 10X. It's exactly what it is. 10X.
It's less stress. So it's like, I can't imagine having to, like, even the 2 homes that I'm doing, the messages, I respond within minutes, I'm very hands-on. I'm very personal with them. So I'm trying to figure out if I can handle 10 1-bedroom units and making sure I remember what does what and how to check in what. Like, I need it to be as passive as possible, if that makes sense. I don't need anybody for keys. Like, there's all smart locks. I have auto messages to send them the code. The only time I'm responding literally is if you're asking me a particular question, then I'm on top of it. But I want it to be as seamless as possible. So that's the reason why I wasn't interested in smaller units in buildings, because then it's like, how do I get them the key? What's going to be the situation? I just didn't want to go through too much red tape. And I don't knock it because I think it's dope. Like, people who are buying whole buildings, I love it. But for someone like me, I've got 2 younger kids. I still work full time and I love my job. I'll probably ride that till the wheels fall off. It just wasn't conducive for my lifestyle to have smaller units and to only bring in an extra $1,000 a month for 2 units. I was looking for the big bang. And when I saw we were making $3,500, sometimes it was like $4,000 in income, we were like, we need to do this again, So I don't think I could ever, like I said, I do get asked a lot about 1-bedroom or 2, like, advice on that. And I'm like, I can't relate. I can't tell you because my thing is homes and we do so well. I can't imagine doing anything. Although I do want a loft, like a little lofty space, like a 1 or 2 bedroom loft. I do want that. That'll probably be the smallest unit I do, but it's kind of like I'm looking for like a bachelor pad type of experience. So
I'm getting me a house, Micah. I'm getting me a house.
Do it.
Yeah, I am too. Like, honestly,
I think it's easier to get. I think it's easier to get as well, as opposed to buildings.
houses are not only easier to get, they're cheaper if you know how to buy right. And the other thing, the systems, like you said, the red tape, there's a lot of red tape when you do arbitrages. And now that I'm thinking about it, is the return really there? Like how you're doing with the houses? I'm like, the return ain't even there. If I'm making 3,000-4,000, because I'm thinking about it right now, because I'm like, I have a 4-bedroom house that does, and I'm like, it does way more than everything else. And it's outside of the main city. So I'm like, I'm thinking
imagine
about
the ones that
here.
are in the city. Imagine if you can get one that's in like the hot spot. Because if I was in Atlanta, if I was in Atlanta, because I know I lose listings because people will say, hey, how far is the airport? And I'll say it's about 30 minutes. And if they don't book, I know that's just not what they're looking for. I'm going to get booked regardless, because there's always going to be that person that's willing to do the drive. But imagine if I can respond and say, it's about 12 minutes. Oh, booked, and I could probably charge more. So no, I would say, yeah, I think that it makes sense to transition from the 1-bedroom units to these 3, 4, 5-bedroom homes. You get less check-ins, but more money, less having to deal with less cleanings and turnovers. You get a little bit more flexibility, and they're easier to get because I found that talking to other people, like I'm talking to another guy who owns a house, when I can show them what I'm already doing and how well I'm taking care of that home, they soften up a little bit. They just want to get that rent paid. It's like, hey, let me show you, my weekends are booked. Let me show you this. Like, so I guarantee you this rent will be paid on time. And on top of that, I'm not going to call you when the refrigerator's broke or the AC goes out, because I'm going to put an extended warranty on all of the appliances in the home. I've never run into any large things happening with the second home, because like I said, the first home is my personal home, but the second home isn't. But TJ mentioned something great, that up to a certain amount of money, he'll cover it. Anything over $250, I think, is when he'll go to the owner. So that softens them up. They're like, hey, man, take it. It's yours. It's yours.
For real, that's what I do. And it's a lot of, especially right now with this being so many, with the moratorium in place, it's a lot of landlords. Like, for example, I literally just got off the phone with a landlord out in San Antonio who has 2 duplexes, 4 units. And he was like, hey, if you give me $5,000 a month, you can have all 4 and I'll let you Airbnb them. I didn't even reach out to him. He's reaching out to people because he don't want to rent it normal right now, long term. So those opportunities exist. You're right. Like if you talk to a landlord right now, they kind of protect their investment, and you're you're protection for that.
Right. Yeah. I recommend it like wholeheartedly, and just you have your rules and stuff in place, just to protect yourself as well, so people aren't tearing up your home. I communicate very well with them, make sure they know I don't do any parties. I'm not doing any of that. And I let them know, hey, there's cameras everywhere and we will remove you from the property if it's something. And I say it all with a smile, so I'm very nice. I'm very huge on customer service. So, I'm never rude. Even when I've had issues, I'm still never rude because I know that these people control my reviews, So, I'm with it. I say houses moving forward, get those houses.
Go ahead, Steve.
Man, this has been great. This is like, she's dropping some really, really good gems, man. I mean, I started off with houses, and then I moved to, the cities that I was doing it in got banned. So I was making good money in them. I was making real good. Like the last one, I was making $4 or $5 grand a month, and that was great money. And of course, they banned it there. So I just said, well, I just get some arbitrages in Dallas. So that's what I've got. I've got like 3 in Dallas right now. And then, I forgot how amazing. I mean, it was so easy to get those homes rented because like there's not very many. Everybody's got 1 bedrooms. Nobody's got houses. I mean, not there's some out
have
there.
them, yeah, but it's not as much.
But a lot of them are just the ones they live in. They say, I'll just throw it on Airbnb when I go out of town, and they just take pictures with their iPhone and just whatever, They're not designed like to be like a blow you away Airbnb. It's not designed that way.
Bingo! You hit the nail on the head.
And that's even to go against like the 1-bedroom thing. Like I'm having the ones in Houston. Like I had to hire a whole marketing team for like my direct bookings and all that because it's so saturated. Like everybody has a 1-bedroom, and then I'm charging like $60 to $80 a night, and they weren't getting booked. And I'm like, man, what's going on? I get on there and look through like the Airbnb listings. The people all around me charging $40 a night for a 1-bedroom.
So they're undercutting.
Like,
so that's
like,
what's
bro, how is this going to work?
getting
So
booked.
I ended up having to sign a contract with the corporate housing company, and then, well, not a corporate housing company, an actual company, and I let them take the units, and then they did like 3,000-4,000 for them, and so it worked that way, you know. But other than that, I just had to use the different marketing strategies. I will say 1-bedrooms, they're oversaturated. The biggest part is you have to use different market strategies, and I will tell anybody, if you're going to the city, you better be going 2 bedrooms and up, or else you're having price wars.
Yeah, a race to the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, it's.
I hadn't, you know, I've heard. I've heard of people I've looked on blogs. I'm a big researcher, so I've looked on blogs where people are like, man, like how do I get my listing seen? Because you know these listings, you know, if you're on the 4th, 5th page, forget about it, you know. And I didn't consider the fact that a lot of them are smaller units and they're competing in all these areas that are already so saturated. That makes sense. Like, yeah, no. That makes sense. Like, I think that's the reason why when I was hearing what areas, like what cities are the best cities to do it, I'm like, don't count out the outskirts. Do not count them out. People still have to visit family and friends. People still have to work out of, you know, these weird cities that aren't necessarily the city, and people need homes, you know what I'm saying? So I also think one great topic is just how people can get their listing to the top. There's little tricks and stuff that you can do, you know, getting people to click on your listing, dropping your link in groups, I have mine in my Instagram bio. So if somebody, it sounds weird, but a lot of guys come to my page, but they click on the link. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll post something in my story. I get a nice amount of story views. So if I post something on my story about it, people tend to go to that link. That tells Airbnb something, and they keep moving your listing up. That and making small changes to them daily. So if you make small changes to your listing daily, that helps.
Another quick hack too. To always stay on top, if you spend $1 a day, like $365 a year, just $1 a day on Facebook ads, it'll keep it at the top. People just click on it because it's just going every day. Just $1 a day Facebook ad if you wanted to, and you'll always be on the first page.
That's what's up. Yeah, well, I'll look into that. If I ever drop to the second page, that'll be an option. I'm really trying to, you know, I want to do. Like I said, I want to get into like a lofty space. I'm really thinking of the Peerspace. So,
yeah, I'm definitely looking further into Peerspace. I might get one in Dallas, Fort Worth area just to see if I can Peerspace. I really might do one in Arlington to see if I can Peerspace it, just to see how it works. Because Peerspace is very lucrative.
So there's this couple that they talk about Peerspace a lot.
Ashley Noble, I've been trying to get her on the podcast. I've been in her DMs like,
have you? Well,
20,000 a day on a place. I'm like, what?
I heard them talking. Well, I used to see the ads pop up, but they would never say what they were doing. They never, ever mentioned Peerspace. They're really good with their marketing. Like, you had to click on that class and pay for that class if you wanted to know how they were booking their space out. So it's funny that you fast forward a year and a half or two later, and I'm following TJ. Following you and TJ around on Clubhouse, and he happened to be talking about Peerspace, and then I recognized, I think that's her. If that's her, I recognized them, and I'm like, that's them. They are the ones who are doing Peerspace, but their place is dope.
But yes,
kind of why I want the lofty space.
Yeah, this has been a great episode. This really surprised me in a way, because before we did the show, it said you had 2 listings. I was like, oh, okay. Sometimes we get people that just want to hop on and they have like 2 listings. I'm like, oh, what can they offer? But you offered a lot. I mean, you offered.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
this was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
It's all about the biggest bang for your buck, right?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And so, why mess with 10 1-bedrooms that are going to pull in, you know, $10,000 when you could do it all in one house? You know, that just saves so much time and effort and money. It's a beautiful thing.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Well, thank you for hopping on, Natalie. This is amazing.
No problem. Thank you so much. Let me know if you ever want me to come back when I'm doing a little bit more I'm doing more than the 2 listings.
You're doing plenty. You're doing a lot. You're doing
Yeah,
a lot.
definitely. You've
You
definitely
inspired us. I mean, it takes a lot to inspire us, but we're inspired.
Aw, thank you guys. This was a lot of fun. I thank you so much for inviting me to the show. I had a lot of fun.
See, that's why if you're on Clubhouse, you get invited on. I tell people get on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Clubhouse is the truth. Yeah.
Thank you, Natalie, for coming on.
No
It's been a
problem.
pleasure.
No problem.
Where can people find you?
Oh yeah, where can people find you?
Yeah.
You can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Natalie Stringfield, no spaces or anything like that. That's there, and my Facebook as well. I'm very active on Facebook, like I said, Natalie Stringfield as well. You can find me there.
Yeah, you had mentioned why it's strange that a lot of guys go to your page. I can see why. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. As a guy, I can see why. That's a compliment. That's a compliment.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. I definitely don't mind the compliments. I'm not naive. Like, I know why a lot of people come, and I utilize that. I definitely utilize it to my advantage.
Yeah, go ahead and click on that Airbnb link while you're here.
Yeah, while you're there.
I'm following right now.
Click on that link.
Oh, man.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie, and we really
No problem.
enjoyed you. I'm definitely gonna be talking about this one. That's an eye opener. I'm like, I need to get definitely.
Absolutely. I thank you guys again for having me on.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one. Bye.
All right, Stevie Stacks. That was episode what?
154
of your favorite Airbnb podcast. Yeah, man, that opened my eyes. I'm like, man, if I could just focus on getting bigger units, because I'm down to spend $12,000 if you're cash flowing $3,000. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool trade-off. I could do that.
Yeah, that was Al Williamson's approach. Remember, he said before you start getting a whole bunch of things, just try to maximize that one unit until it makes as much as you can make on it. That's
hone in on what you got.
Exactly. So she found her niche. She didn't get sidetracked. She didn't try, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that. No, this is what I know, and I make this house make some money, make a lot of money, and she maximized it.
That's what's up, man. So you got 2 units bringing you $3,000 a month. That's you need is like 5 units. You in there, man? Like, hey, we sitting here trying to rack up 100 units. Yeah, man, definitely. But yeah, that was an awesome episode, man. I really enjoyed that.
Cool, man. Where can folks find us?
You can follow us on IG at Live Let Thrive. Send us an email, liveletthrive@gmail.com. We've had a lot of people email us about Clubhouse invites. I got a couple more. So yeah, email us at liveletthrive@gmail.com, and I'll give you a Clubhouse invite so you can hop in one of the rooms. I'm actually about to hop in a room here shortly. My guy TJ. And yeah, man, that's where they can find us. Anything else? Departing words?
That's it, man. Keep living, letting, and thriving.
Yes, sir. And we are out.
Later.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.